Hello, everybody.
Yes, hi everybody. Welcome back to Let's Roleplay. I am your host Duhad. Joining me today are but let me actually hold on. Yeah, well, welcome to Let's Roleplay. We're doing Conspiracy X, kind of Conspiracy X2. It's not. It's sort of a pseudo direct sequel. It's not really a direct sequel to the last Conspiracy X game, but we're doing a new. Oh boy. Yeah, it's been a weird pre-game, but I'm here. I'm Duhad. This is Belil.
Hi.
We've got well, we would normally have Winter and Morath with us as well, but our other returning player is for at least for right now will be Zombie Cam.
Hello.
And introducing sort of, I think they've both been in videos before, but like kind of reintroducing after a while is Moonstruck Ragamuffin.
Hey.
I'm gonna call you Moon.
Moonstruck works.
Moonstruck. Okay.
Moon also works.
Moon unit.
Yeah. It's called old
Moon
place
unit.
of mine. And
Yeah, so Homestuck is with us.
yeah. and Colonel the Frog, who I used to live with him, and he was in some videos. You've all known seeing him. So Colonel the Frog.
Commence with the horror right now.
So it's
Oh boy,
Homestuck.
what a good start. So we're playing Conspiracy X. We've just finished making characters and building the base. We're missing Morath and Winter, who irritatingly were not here for the start, and so we're
Winter was here before the start, but somehow passed out, possibly due to the hurricane now ravaging Texas.
Abducted by aliens.
Yeah, so the
Under
base
the guise of the hurricane
So
ravaging
there's going to be
Texas.
probably between episodes 1 and episodes 2, the base is going to go through a sudden rapid expansion as 2 other people join the crew, and the base fills out with all those work-in-progress buildings that are taped off with yellow duct tape right now, where all of their stuff totally exists already.
We always had that swimming pool.
You know it would be really cool if it's like we mess up something in this session, and then Winter's character comes in like, the army seizing control of this area, and like
The
with like
funniest part
a
is,
fleet of trucks.
he's my character's dad.
I love that.
It'd be like Iron Giant.
Oh god. Okay, I like that. I love your American accent. But let me like throw down what's going on here. All right. So what has happened is previously in the last Conspiracy X game we ran, things didn't go well. Basically, the entire cell died. The entire task force sent to wipe them out after they basically fucked up beyond all reason were killed, when the only thing the original cell was able to accomplish was to kill the people who were cleaning up their mess. And Aegis has not been exactly in a great mood since then, adding like further difficulties to the secret organization. As of about a month ago, a major a disaster took place within one of Aegis's more prominent cells. They were working on some pretty high-end. They were working on a pretty high-end research project, which was showing a great deal of promise. Then, out of nowhere, something went wrong. You guys haven't been informed as to what exactly it was yet, but something went terribly wrong. The project and everyone working on it was killed. The project was destroyed. Everyone working on it was killed. And the only clue as to who was responsible was a photograph of a single woman exiting the facility, heavily armed with technology that is well beyond anything that has been seen on Earth outside of the hands of the aliens. Aegis has in preparation began setting up things to start investigating when things started getting weird. Like the town stuff started happening in the town that was really odd, and so deciding to play things safe because of how much has recently gone horrifically wrong, they've called in a quarantine around the town and sent in you guys from your previous assignment. You all kind of got taken off your original assignment to be put onto this new job, to go in and do a government assessment quote unquote, to figure out like any potential hazards from the recent events. What you're actually doing is trying to find this woman who intel suggests is still within the town's bounds and is now hemmed in by the quarantine, and to find out both what happened to the project, what effect it's having on the populace, and, you know, again, ideally to figure out who this woman is and what she had to do with, like, why she destroyed your facility.
Okay, so there's an important question here that's got to be asked, Duhad.
Yes.
You said she's a single woman. Is she good looking?
She's pretty attractive. I think she's at any rate. She's yeah, short brown hair, tough looking motherfucker. Got a prosthetic leg, it looks like, but it acts almost as fluidly as a regular leg.
I love a woman who can kick ass, and if she can do it one-legged in an ass-kicking competition, so much the better.
Fantastic.
We cut her leg off. Can we reverse engineer it?
Possibly.
You bet we can.
That would be sort of part of the idea.
You can put it on my foot, and then I can walk normally again.
Yeah, that would actually that theoretically be. You have personal investments. Yay! So Aegis has, in order to help you with this assignment, they have taken the time to basically move a lot of your facilities, like a lot of your computers and stuff, to a new location within the town's boundaries, as well as some new stuff that you have requested. Like there's still some more things that need to be shipped in, but they should be arriving fairly soon. Aegis doesn't exactly have a ton of time because the external pressures and the amount of like press that it's getting, having this entire American city, like a small but still existed American city quarantined, is putting increasing pressure on them. So they are giving you a very small window to figure this all out. And you guys are all arriving in a van that has been specially provided to you by Aegis. As you are driving in, you have each been sent via your Hermes link, which is a special device used by the organization to, give information to all of their people and stuff. Information necessary for this job, and I have it written down here. For some reason, it started jumping all over the fucking place, but let me open up skis this thing. So, the information, basically everything I just told you is in there. In addition, there are some dossiers on members of the town who just believes that you should either talk to or at least be aware of, as they probably might be beneficial in your investigation.
Okay.
These people specifically are Sheriff Elizabeth North. She is the contact within the town. She is not in on the conspiracy or anything, but she has been basically told to expect the government team and to offer you anything, to help you in any way she can with this investigation. Similarly, you also have been you will be contacting a Mayor Eric Jameson, who is also very eager to take care of all this unpleasantness as quickly as possible and get the town reopened. The only actual medical professional working within the town, it's not a very large town, is a Dr. James Franklin. Aegis has not had an opportunity to speak with him, but they believe that he might have some information about the actual effects of what's going on in town. And finally, okay, so there's one other piece of information I should have actually mentioned before. The one odd thing about this woman is that while they have no idea who she actually is, she bears a shockingly similar appearance to a former Aegis driver who was actually involved in the disastrous failure with the other cell. that woman's name was Catherine McCready, and her brother, James McCready, is actually a resident of this town, and Aegis Prime has basically gone like, well, it might just be a coincidence, but coincidences aren't exactly something we like to rely on, so, maybe keep an eye open for this dude, because there might be something up with this weird doppelganger shit. The woman in question, Catherine McCready, has been detained by Aegis, and so they are certain that it is not the same person, but the resemblance is weirdly uncanny. So I think it might be like a shapeshifter or possibly a clone maybe.
You're a clone.
Your mom's clone.
There we go. It's out of my system now.
Okay, good. Okay, so as you're driving in though through in your van, we're gonna go around and describe each of you, kind of sitting in the various seats. Who is driving?
Not Belial.
Not me.
Okay.
Who's driving?
Not me either.
Zombie, are you driving?
Should I drive? I will drive.
You're driving. Okay. In the driver's seat, Zombie Cam, who's your character and what do they look like?
My character, Lawrence
Jacoby.
McShoby. That's actually really good. Lawrence McShody. He is a gentleman of approximately age 27 to 28. Very distinguished-looking fellow. He has glasses, a bow tie, and generally has a broad smile on his face. He works for Moondust, which is an organization, as a linguist. So he's been sent in to see if he can translate the language that this strange creature / woman that has been seen in the city speaks.
Okay.
In order to establish communication.
Fair enough. In the passenger seat, next to Mr. Jacoby, is.
I'll jump here. Dr. Daniel Yang, a gentleman of Chinese descent with fairly close-cropped black hair. He is also a member of Project Moondust. He has no glasses. And at the moment, he's sporting a bit more of a tan than normal.
Okay. And, sorry, did you explain what...
And actually, on this one, are Lawrence and Daniel part of the same cell of Moondust?
That depends. Zombie, do you think that they're both part of the same project, Moondust project? I would assume they might be because...
Yeah, I would be happy with doing that.
Okay. Then he is a member of the same cell of Project Moondust. He initially was a lab geek. He worked as an engineer for Project Moondust, but due to his interest in the alien technology, he started to take on field training and has since been certified as a fixer in the field. Between himself and Lawrence, they can go ahead and provide Operation Moondust's level of technical support without having to send an entire Operation Moondust team.
Okay. Nice. That would make sense why you guys are both on this job.
So in other words, we both work for a special projects agency of the U.S. Air Force. We are, educated gentlemen, but I can't speak for Lawrence, but I have absolutely no interest in Egyptology.
That is a damn shame. That's probably why they didn't send you out to deal with that other special project they were working on.
Diving through a pool, just standing on its own, not for us.
Yeah, It probably won't amount to anything anyway. Sitting in the back is a young girl whose father is an asshole and fell asleep and missed the bus. But what does this young girl look like, and who is she?
Oh, so this young girl, not really that young, is
she looks like a young girl.
What?
I'm just saying, like she looks.
She has the appearance of one, yes. So her name is Meryl Van Buren, who is in her 40s. She has the appearance of a 6-year-old. Has the appearance of a 6-year-old, and she claims that she was somehow abducted, when she was 6, while the hospital and many other people just assumed that it had something to do with glands not allowing her to progress in hormones and grow up. She claims that it's aliens. But anyway, she works as a deputy, a U.S. deputy, a U.S. Marshal. Well, a deputy to the U.S. Marshal of, I would assume, the current state that they're in.
This would be the great state of Maine. You guys are in the same area that the original expedition brutally failed in.
Yeah. And she basically works at the computers, known by the government for her desk work for the most part. And, her father has been pretty much deemed her bodyguard at this point. And he's a crazy 6-year-old man that's taking a nap next to her.
He missed the van. He's actually, he'll be coming in on the next bus into town, like a jackass because he's drunk. This is what she looks like. She's up on the screen right now for those of you watching at home.
One notable feature of her is that she is missing her left foot due to diabetes.
She is unfortunately diabetic.
Yeah.
But yes, that's our young Miss Van Buren. And finally, yes, sitting next to Miss Van Buren in the back in the van, we see Moonstruck. What's your character? Zima Petrikov.
Zima Petrikov. A recent immigrant to the United States from lovely Russia. No relation. I'm happy to be, in the land of the free. You will notice she always wears sunglasses, even at night. She is blind, or I am blind. And I am essentially the financial backer and housekeeper for the group.
That is entirely fair. Okay, so
quick note, shouldn't that be Petrikova?
It should be Petrikova, thank you.
Petrikova. Okay, my apologies. I mispronounced that myself. But yes, so as you are all as you guys are like driving into town, you notice that there is a military blockade outside, and as you drive up, a soldier wearing a gas mask walks over to check on your papers. And he taps on the driver's side window, looking directly at you, Zombie.
Is it Petrikov or Petrikova?
Petrikova.
It would be pronounced Petrikova.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
I wind down the window.
Papers, sir?
Hello, sir. And then I reach over for people's papers.
You you here on business, or you live here?
As I hand the gentleman our passports and whatnot,
Yeah.
I say, we're here on official business for...
you're the government team.
Yes, that's it.
Right, well, I have orders to let you in. He looks over the papers. Everything appears to be in order. He looks in through the windows. You seem to be missing 2 members of the party. Are they not going to be coming along, or is this...
They're going to be a little bit behind. They had some official business to deal with back at base.
I see.
Understand.
I will file that in the report. Not a problem at all, sir. Is there anything we should be informed of? He looks around and says, the quarantine's been in place for a while now. We haven't let anyone in or out, but we... do you think this is going to last much longer?
I can't say for certain, but we're going to do all we can to put an end to this, to figure out the cause.
Very good, sir.
Isn't that right, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Good.
We do this all the time.
You and your boys, you keep up the good work.
Will do, sir. Thank you very much, sir. He hands you back your papers. Everything's in order, sir. Have a good day.
You fuck young girls, Zima?
He's like, wait, what?
no, but it's just a cute joke. Because Savakin's character sounds like an old 1940s investigator.
God damn. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, so...
I drive off,
yeah.
continue down the road.
See, as you drive in, you actually see, not too long after you start seeing the first houses, and this is not a big town. Like, this is... You guys are up kind of in the boonies up in northern Maine, and in addition to being very cold, it's already late fall, and frost is already starting to lay across the ground. The location is barren. Like, there's, this doesn't look like the population is more than 300 or 400 people. The buildings are very spread out, and as you start entering the center of town, it almost feels like you're just you should just be getting on the outskirts. The police station you recognize pretty quickly. It's right next to the town hall, which is a wooden building with white shingled with gray shingled roofs and a white shuttered windows. It's very rustic, very old fashioned, and kind of to the side, you can actually smell the smell of sea. You can smell salt air as you're not too far from the coast, which unfortunately has made quarantining the area a little bit harder since, blockading a port is always a bit of a pain in the ass.
Where should our first stop be, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, we need to stop in at the shop, check out,
Yeah.
see how it's been doing.
A quick question: does your van look like an official government vehicle, or did you design this to look like did you have it painted to look like a civilian vehicle?
It is the muffin van.
All right.
I will suggest official government, but
I would probably imagine official government myself as well.
No, it's the official government.
Okay, so it looks like an official vehicle.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a shitty muffin van. Otherwise, we would probably have a lot more issues.
Yeah,
Leave my dream of a muffin van alone.
Honestly, there's a good argument to be made for the muffin van. Official government vans are going to be awfully hard to do any surveillance out of.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Once the other people come in, they could probably pull some strings and get perhaps
They may be already, quote unquote, bought a van.
Yeah, they could be coming in a van.
But it's up to you guys as to what you want to do. But it sounds like people are voting on behalf of an official van. So you drive your official looking van and guess you're going to the store.
Mm-hmm.
So you've previously when Aegis had this location set up for you. You requested a underground base connected to a storefront out on street level, and driving up to this coffee shop that you were given the address to, you almost wonder if Aegis didn't actually pull its pull its weight on this one, because this looks like a pretty ordinary coffee shop, complete with people inside drinking cups of joe and munching on pastries.
Oh, that was a long drive. I'm gonna go get something.
Well, I might as well get out now. She unbuckles her booster seat and tediously gets down
With her little crutches.
with her crutches. Yeah.
The littlest orphan.
She appears to be wearing like business wear, except tailored for a small child body.
The littlest of business wear.
Zima and Petrikov and Lawrence, are you going to be joining them for coffee, or?
Well, I mean, I suppose, but
I'll
have
head
to
out
find my
back
bearings.
and see if I can find out where this base is.
Well, there's a parking garage, like a small parking garage specifically for your use. It only really fits the one vehicle, but it'll fit your van just fine.
All right.
All right. So, Zombie, you're going to park that one and look around for the base? Okay. So the rest of you walk into the coffee shop, and a plump woman behind the counter gives you a warm smile and says, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Been on the road for far too long. What's the best pastry here?
Oh, well, we've got, let's see here. She rumbles around and eventually, points to a set of, cinnamon buns. Well, these are really nice. We baked them fresh today. She kind of looks you all over and says, "Though, may I also suggest a cup of coffee to go with it?"
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Give me a quadruple shot.
Quadruple shot. You mean have espresso?
No.
I'm afraid we don't sell alcohol, especially not to minors.
She'll have hot cocoa.
She pulls out her license.
The woman bends over the counter and looks at it. "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. Well, we don't have any alcohol, so
Just give me something that's strong.
We have hot cocoa and we have coffee. Like strong coffee? All right.
Uh-huh.
She starts pouring it out, and for you, yes, sir.
Yeah, gonna need a coffee. Big coffee. About as big as you've got.
All right.
And, if you've got espresso, shots of that, please.
Okay. We don't really have much in the way of espresso, but we do have, a very nice dark roast that should...
Excellent. Perfect. Go for it.
All right.
Holds up his hands, way far apart. Cup about that big.
And I look at text, I was like, "Is that one of them?" No. Okay, so she pours you out the coffee, and as she does so, she actually, as she hands out each of you your coffee, Mr. Petrikov, do you order any coffee? Moonstruck?
It's not Dr. Petrikov.
Petrikova.
Mrs. Petrikova.
My apologies.
Tea. Black.
Okay. She prepares that.
Bit of orange wedge in it if you have it.
Meryl's
we have
gonna
lemon.
Meryl's gonna pour a bit of her flask into her
Okay.
That will do.
thing. when
People
no
are
one's-
giving you kind of odd looks as you do so, but no one questions it since you look like you know what you're doing. And because it's in Maine. But as she hands you each your cups of coffee, she also gives you and your Dr. Yang as and your pastry. She also gives you little napkins to hold the coffee with. And as you sit down, you notice that there's something written on the napkins.
And what might be written on the napkin?
bathroom, one at a time, button under the sink.
I will start munching on my cinnamon bun.
Is this a unisex bathroom?
No. Don't be silly. This is made in the 90s. It's you don't want any one of those freak ass predators getting involved in this shit. So
okay.
Two bathrooms, but it says for both of you, so it clearly is not. Whatever's set up there is set up for both.
It's not exclusive to just one.
It's a no girls allowed club. So if you go in the girls' bathroom and you hit the button, there's just a big sign that unfurls that just says no.
It says ew, icky.
Yeah, it says icky.
Ew, gross.
Meanwhile, out in the back, zombies, you park the van. Sorry, I mean to say, Lawrence, as you park the van, a little you see it like a little red light flash, like just for a second. It's so quick that you almost don't even recognize it. But at the same time, a tiny flash appears on your dashboard, like in the the fuel gauge on your car. And you see and like a second later, a tiny light turns on over a breaker switch with a sign over it saying "Out of order, do not touch."
Right.
Uh-huh.
Do I know what this means?
No, but
I
you
do
can
not
probably
touch.
take a guess.
Okay, I take a guess.
It's probably the base. It's probably an entrance to the base.
Yeah, right. How do I activate it then?
Well, maybe try flipping the switch. That's clearly...
But it says do not touch.
So it does. Never mind.
Never mind, you don't do it.
Well, you're right. It clearly says do not touch, so probably not worth touching then.
I reach out to touch it and I'm like, I think this is what they want, and I switch it.
Right, as you switch it, instead of flicking up normally, it actually just sort of lifts up, and it reveals a black pad that you recognize as a hand scanner.
I place my hand on it.
Right. There's a faint heat, and then you hear a hiss, and a small square of concrete in the floor slides out of the way, revealing a very small, a ladder leading, like a trapdoor and a ladder leading down.
Could have forked out for an elevator. As I start climbing down, though, he starts whistling the "Get Smart" theme.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Actually, yeah, kind of fittingly, as you crawl down, you actually find that the ladder doesn't go that far down, but does lead into a series of double doors. And after you walk through two of them, there's an elevator that actually leads you down into the base proper.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, those of you who are drinking coffee and eating your pastries, do you follow the instructions written on the by the friendly lady serving you food to head into the bathroom for some secret fun times?
I mean, I would if I could read it.
Oh yeah, fair point. She did not actually take that into consideration.
Oh no, I should be there.
No.
By the way, is Zima
no.
looking at the writing with a questioning look?
No, she's just sitting there sipping her tea.
Okay.
She's completely blind. Yeah. Well, Meryl's gonna go first.
All right.
Yeah. I assume it's the boys' bathroom then, right?
Well, it's it didn't say specifically either bathroom. I think you assume it's designed for both bathrooms.
Okay, then she goes into the women's bathroom
Okay.
and follows the instructions.
Yeah, you basically reach into the sink and feel around, and you find a small indent. You put your finger up in it. You feel a little warmth. It scans you. There's the hiss and the a small wall panel slides out of the way, and you're able to walk in, following a very similar series of climbing downstairs and walking through doors that Zombie just did. And
so I'm gonna take like 3 times as long.
Yeah, it's gonna take me much longer. So you'll probably actually arrive after the next person goes. Meanwhile, Dr. Yang, you realize that Porzima is not actually noticing the secret hint left for her.
I mean, what exactly am I supposed to notice? Everybody's gone.
Well, I've not left yet. I'm having a nice coffee.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So how's the tea?
He asked how the tea was. In character.
Could be better. It's weak English brand.
From my point of view, the issue is that it is tea, but meh.
You Americans and your coffee.
The awkwardness continues.
I mean, tell me truthfully.
Dr. Yang just shakes his head. Yes?
Why do you feel the need to drink something that is made from a bean that has already passed through the bowels of a goat or a bat?
Or a monkey.
Well, the caffeine, for one, the various effects of health that appear to show up whenever we do studies on it. I can tell you one thing, though, it's not the taste.
Especially not this stuff. This stuff is swill. Like, you've had much better coffee in basically everywhere you've gone before. Like, this isn't like the bottom scraping is of the barrel, but this is not great coffee.
You see, the thing is about coffee is that the worse it tastes, the better it is. And I know that there are coffee connoisseurs out there, but they don't get it. They really don't. This drink, he pokes at the cup, is meant to keep you energized, keep you awake, and if it tastes worse, it's doing its job better. So this might be the finest cup of coffee that I've ever had. Anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Are you going to go to the bathroom?
Go ahead. I'll follow along when I finish.
Oh.
The woman, like, one of the other customers is giving this, like, look as Yang walks to the bathroom, and a short time
By
later...
the way, as he walks to the bathroom, he polishes off the cup of coffee and tosses it.
Nice. Yeah, so because you didn't actually give instructions, I'm guessing you're waiting for her to actually show her how to get in.
Yes, and making mental notes about how I'm going to improve the service and quality of the drink.
That's entirely fair. So yeah, you get you don't really notice it, but you get some weird looks as you walk after your friend, and some scandalous whispers. But you soon meet in the bathroom, and before long.
Imagine if I was blind. Oh boy,
God,
that would have been a problem.
It's very tragic.
No, it would be really funny because I would follow after Kit's character, and then everyone would just give him a scowl.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you know those Japanese people and how they like their lollies.
Oh, no.
And then Yang would blow his fucking top.
Pretty much.
Oh, boy. Do you guys manage to make your way down into the elevators and soon find yourselves down into the base where Mr.
We're fucking elevators in the men's bathroom?
Well, you had to climb down in a short
This really is sexist.
Yeah.
It's Maine.
Yeah.
No, I know. The women's restroom entrance is all ladders, while the men's restroom is an elevator with person working in it giving out high fives.
God. Yeah, so while you guys are like going to join them, Lawrence and Meryl, you've arrived down in the. Yeah, they'll be joining you in just a minute, but like you guys have arrived first down underground, and you've been able to see what this base has to offer. Specifically, and we'll scroll up to what we just finished writing right before the game started. You find that in this underground base underneath it, there's a large computer mainframe, which Meryl, had specifically like moved in from your primary base. There's 2 dormitory rooms capable of comfortably housing 2 people, so you guys are going to have to double up, but obviously it's bunk beds. It's not like you guys have to sleep together. There's a like small field hospital which is fully stocked, and a very nice workspace that has been prepared especially at Dr. Yang's request. In addition to that, they haven't been properly stored away yet. There are crates, where a number of audio recording devices, video recording devices, and Geiger counters have been carefully set up, as well as a wall-mounted armory containing 10 trank rifle. 10 tranks and 5 dart rifles. It's very nice. There's also a lot of free space and a number of rooms that have been like sealed off with tape as they are still waiting the final pieces to be shipped in. But it is that this place is huge. Like there's so much like empty space that you guys have not actually utilized that allow you to basically just kind of like have a little bit of a run around. Like you got essentially like a football field, like an underground football field, just sitting there untouched.
How high up is the ceiling?
It's not super high. Like it's
high for me.
Yeah, like okay, it's a little bit like a story and a half in a house. Like it's not like giant vaulting ceiling sort of deal, but it's spacious. Like it's not uncomfortable or claustrophobic at all, but it is definitely again, not like ludicrously big.
So who shows up first? It's Lawrence and...
You show up finding Lawrence already down there. He was the first to arrive downstairs. And a while after, you were joined by your 2 previous companions.
This is the worst base I've ever been in.
The worst one, huh?
No wheelchair accessibility.
Oh, it's pretty flat, but yeah, the ladder sucks.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's quite warm.
Could have been worse. They could have put us on an oil rig.
I can't remember his voice now.
It was like a 1940s. Hello.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I did with my
It's alright.
to make that sound come out.
Yeah, same.
You do new voice if you have to. It's fine. It's like it's the first session pretty early on.
Just keep changing voices every second. I am an actor. I don't have an identity. No.
Are you frazzing me? This dig is decked out.
God damn.
Yo.
Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Dear God.
Look, I looked up 1950s slang, and that was the thing I actually just said. That wasn't out of
1990s.
character.
But okay, yeah, fair enough.
As someone who's actually from the 1950s.
Actually, considering this base is set up in the 90s, part of that giant empty space that is unused does, like, just by necessity of it being the 90s, have a small skate park set up inside.
And
No
me
one
without
can
my
skate.
board.
Just pull some strings.
Well, I suppose we could try and get the hoverboard sent here.
God. It's really the 90s.
Later, maybe we should prove that we're actually, effective before we try to
Anyway, I'm going to boot up the mainframe.
Okay. You turn on, and there's it takes a second or two, but then the thing turns on, and you actually see the logo.
Windows logo.
Yeah, well, it's the Windows logo, but specifically, because this is a hyper advanced computer mainframe, and you have the access to government files and stuff, and you basically have this crazy top of the line supercomputer. What pops on the screen as you load in the OS is actually the cutting edge, not even yet released Windows XP operating system.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Crazy.
That's actually a really good thing. If we were stuck with Emmy, we might have gotten Clippy, and since it's a mainframe, he might have achieved sentience, and then we'd have a whole different game.
And then the robots would never let you live. But yeah,
they'd let us live, but they'd want to know if we wanted help.
Oh, God. God damn it. But yeah, so
it looks like you're trying to stop the conspiracy. Do you need help?
Jesus.
Or would it be Windows 2000 startup sound? Which one would it be of the 80 startup sounds that exist?
Oh god, no, it's the Windows XP thing, because normally this wouldn't have come out until 2001, but because you were in the future tech, you have this crazy cutting edge 2001 operating system.
Oh, thank goodness that it's the Windows XP startup sound.
God. Stop linking all these Windows startup sounds. But yeah, you get the thing turned on, and it boots up. It doesn't currently have any tasks to perform because you haven't actually given anything to do. But you have the powerful mainframe computer online.
Mm-hmm. So we know where this Catherine's held currently.
You have no idea. She's in town, but you have no idea where she is. You do know where these people I listed before are: Elizabeth North, Sheriff Elizabeth North, Mayor Eric Jameson, Dr. James Franklin, and Guy James McCready. But you don't know where this Catherine McCready doppelganger is.
So can I use it to basically search up any mention of her or any sightings of someone who matches a description of her?
You can try. They're probably not going to be.
Yeah, this isn't a supercomputer, so it's not going to be that effective.
Yeah, you're not going. Well, you don't have the internet. You're not likely to find anything on the internet. This is more for processing volumes of data. You don't really have any data to process. You'll need to get that data first and then plug it into the machine. You might be able to get said data from one of your sources.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the sheriff, or the mayor, or the doctor, or Guy.
That'd be true.
So I'm going to walk up to my co-cell member and hand him a zip disk.
Okay, that would be used on the camp.
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh, it's just some of the work that we were doing back at Groom. Figure we got this computer, it's not doing anything, might as well get it started.
Right you are. I placed the zip disk in the mainframe.
Unused cycles are wasted cycles, damn it.
Computer technician, Meryl, are you going to assist them with their attempts to do whatever the hell they're doing at this moment? Which I'd love to hear explained.
We are researching alien power source. Hopefully we'll be able to create the firestorm soon.
God damn it.
Aliens, you say?
Yes.
You see, I know something about aliens.
Do you now?
I was abducted.
Do you remember anything about it?
1950s. Yes. They were
really?
Big, fishy people.
We're going to have to sit down sometime, and I'm going to want to ask you some questions about that.
But anyway, don't touch the keyboard. I'm going to push for you.
So you're going to use your elite computer program skills to start working on this thing?
Yes.
Okay. So what exactly are you trying to accomplish with this this action team?
Honestly, this is not so much a, towards our investigation. It's, we've got this computer, this is work that Project Moondust was working on, and the more that we can figure out about alien power sources, the better. These are emission readings that we took from one of the samples that was collected from the field.
Okay, so basically...
And if we're lucky, if we're lucky, there might be some coincidence with the tech that our target is using, but realistically speaking, that's not going through this guy's mind right now. He's going, I might be out here doing this type of work, but this computer's sitting idle, and I don't want that to be a thing.
Perfect.
Well, anyway, you have to guide me through it.
Okay.
'Cause I know computers, but I don't.
Right.
Translate.
So what we've got here is the emission spectra. If you go ahead and pull up that spectrometer, your running program, that recursive matrix right there, and he just goes down a whole list. And this statistical analysis program should do fine. Put it on the third setting. And hopefully, if that runs fine, it should give us the stuff that we need. If it doesn't,
right? Because this is what exact year in the 90s is it?
It's 98.
98.
98.
Okay. All right, that should be running for 10 minutes, and then we'll get the answer we need.
Well, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Do you get that thing going?
It's a 90s computer. Of course it's going to fucking...
Oh, yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's also, this is probably going to be an ongoing thing that you're just having running in the background while you also do your other more relevant work. Speaking of which...
Quite.
I start pulling, rummage in my travel bag and pull out a list of just things that I want run on this data. Here you go.
I'll take a look at it in my spare time. Anyway, we should probably work on contacting one of the contacts around here and get a few more leads.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Why didn't we go speak to the mayor first?
Well,
I'm game.
and I suppose the other half of us will go speak to the poor brother.
Sure.
Well, we have to find the brother first. We don't actually know where he is.
You know where he lives. You don't know where the other one lives. But we don't know where the fugitive lives. But okay, so who's going to go and talk to the mayor?
I think that's the
I will.
Moondust folks.
Okay. Team
Question:
Moondust.
Do we can we gain access to Girl Scout uniforms?
No.
Didn't buy
To
uniforms?
a Girl Scout uniform.
Yeah, you can get a Girl Scout uniform.
Oh, good.
It's not going to be easy, but you can do it.
Okay.
How not easy is it precisely?
We're going to work that out depending on what exactly she's trying to do. And
Well, I just want to wear one so I can go convince them that I'm a Girl Scout.
Okay,
Lead the man
that's
just in case he doesn't want to run.
okay,
Just in case he
that's
wants
going to take more than a day because you're going to have this brought in and then brought through quarantine.
Fine, then we'll prepare. Maybe we'll have it in a background thing so that once we get the address of the fugitive, we can do it.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, we'll start with the Moondust boys, and then we'll move over to the ladies in the woods.
I look over at Lawrence. Creed would go spare. He's always talking to us about how we're not supposed to split up the team to investigate.
I know.
Those op
never
boys,
shuts up.
I really don't get them. We don't have that much time. We need to get as much data as we can. I mean, there's hardly ever anything that jumps out and tries to eat our faces.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what
Everything will be fine.
That's what the guns are for.
Oh yeah, I grabbed one of everything that I bought, by the way,
Okay.
before we leave the base.
So yeah.
Audio recorder, video camera, Geiger counter, tranquilizer, and dart rifle.
So yeah, Lawrence has like a bag, I assume, and he just like shoves it full of all this gear.
I just have my gun.
Alright, yeah, you got your Derringer. Does anyone else grab anything on the way out?
Oh, yes.
I make sure that everyone who grabs a gun has 2 tranquilizer
Darts.
things each. Yes.
Okay.
It's not just a dart though, so it's like a
syringe?
fluid, and you stab the dart into
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I assume it doesn't
Yeah.
specify.
Fair enough.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but yes.
Okay, so yeah, so
Or
we'll
the
start-
game system it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the moon dust boys,
Yeah.
we'll start with them going to the talk to the mayor, and the two ladies will deal with them going to talk to the guy right afterwards. So first,
Oh,
By the way, what is the cover story that Aegis has been using for the reason for the quarantine?
a dangerous biohazard incident involving basically like they're using a government leak, like basically a radiation leak in
Okay.
the thing.
Grabbing a couple of Geiger counters.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's, by the way, that is another location that you should probably check out at some point, which is the actual facility.
Okay.
But for now, yeah.
How about we meet there after we talk to our respective people?
Seems reasonable. Rest of the party?
I'm on board.
yeah. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So the rest of you, so first the Moon Boys will go to go to the thing, and it's
Look at
actually
there.
yeah, the other two will, oh god, wait, no, the other two is the kid and the blind woman. So you
This
guys
is
will
gonna be
take the
even
van.
better. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll take the van. The other two will take a cab. It's not very far at all to get to the town hall, as it is basically just this little wooden building around the center of town. And when you go into as you walk over to it, you see the door is open, and the secretary putting things together and arranging things for the mayor is just kind of sitting behind a little glass slide window that's been opened up. It's chilly in here. It feels like they probably should have kept the door closed, but you guess that basically the mayor, who has been told to expect you, has been basically trying to make it very clear, like, just come right in, please.
Okay, I'm going to terrify this poor woman.
Okay.
I walk up to her and say, "Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help."
Oh, good. So you've arrived. She looks nervous, and she's like, "Oh, good, excellent. Well, I'm so glad that
Really, it's not as bad as all that. We just need to do a quick check, and hopefully we should be able to get this whole thing undone. Is the mayor in?
Yes, actually, he's been waiting for you.
Excellent.
Should I let him know that you'll be coming in?
Yes, please.
All right. She hits a little button. Mr. Jameson, the government officials are here. There's a little buzz, and then she's like, "Oh, all right, excellent." She hurries out from around the desk and opens the door for you. And basically, it's just like right through the doors and up a flight of stairs, you find yourselves brought directly to the mayor's office, which is a small, cozy but slightly over-decorated room with a shaggy carpet and some profoundly ugly murals up on the wall, showing previous like the town's founder and what looks like a painting of George Washington, though it's not a very flattering picture of Washington, to say the least.
It's Washington on the crapper.
Well, not quite, but it's just been badly
Wow,
done.
you can
so
really
it
see
was-
the wood grain in his teeth.
Yeah, like it's like him. It's trying to be friendly and smiley, but it just comes off weird, and the wooden teeth are just not cool. Not cool.
You say they got the local elementary school to do the mural.
Well, they got a local artist to do it back in the '60s, and they didn't realize that he was something of a countercultural artist.
Aliens.
So they're not just kind of stuck with it.
Are there any American
Oh,
flags
joy.
in here?
Oh, of course, there's a big one. There's a big main flag and a big American flag just sort of awkwardly draped, because there's not really enough room for flags of this size, but they are still just kind of shoved in the corners and a little bit curled up to try and like make sure they fit properly. The mayor is sitting behind the desk. He's a late middle-aged, balding man with pale, watery eyes and a nervous expression. And as you walk in, he basically goes through a series of expressions. First startled, then irritated, then like a little insincerely, like overly happy. And he says, gentlemen, please come in.
Thank you, Mayor.
So good to have you, you boys here in the town to help take care of our little recent difficulties.
Of course, Mr. Mayor.
Would you like to tell us about what's been going on?
Well, I was hoping that you might be able to. As you know, the recent incident with the government facility that apparently has been set up around the right here in our town without anyone ever informing me as the elected official of the town. We're people around here are a little bit nervous and a little upset, understandably, about what's recently been going on. However, we understand the necessity of certain government programs, and we appreciate that sometimes these are things that we can't actually be informed about, but that's quite all right. As you I'm sure are aware, the facility recently went, well, I don't know what the technical term is, but exploded. And
I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the Geiger counters, put it up on his desk, and flick it on.
he looks deeply alarmed by this and is staring at it.
So, I know that it's going to start, doing the background
Yeah.
clicking, but what does it actually say on the meter?
It's pretty much just totally standard. While there is some fear that there might be a nuclear component to this because the project was starting to get into some kind of weird areas, the nuclear cover story is largely just that, just a cover story.
Okay, goody gumdrops. Is there a coal plant around here?
Coal plant? Yeah. Well, there's a mill. No coal plant.
And what power station does serve this area?
We have a
I pick up the wand and start waving it about.
water dam. It's always been very reliable and never really given us any problems in the past.
That's strange.
What's strange?
Go on, Mayor. Go on. Please go on.
We've always gotten our power from the hydro dam, and
I am going to surreptitiously turn the volume up on the Geiger counter.
Oh dear.
I'm rapidly taking notes, writing down everything he says word for word.
Yeah,
So this is the scritching in the background.
yeah, he started to sweat, and you actually notice the secretary who let you in before is peering through the doorway, looking terrified. Well, we've been.
Please go on, Mayor.
Well, it's just that we've been, ever since the explosion, we've been a little nervous. At first it seemed like it was maybe a terrorist attack, or communists, or maybe I don't know.
Communists? Do you have a party, a chapter of the party in the town?
Well, no, we've obviously never had any issues with communists.
Twiddle the knob.
But, well, you know how things are. Even with the end of the war, it's still, well, he looks around and it's like, well, you know how it is.
Worst thing that ever happened to this country. All that lost budget.
I'm sorry?
Nothing, just musing. So, is there a map in the room of the town?
Yes, there is.
So, are there like pins in it or anything?
Yeah, there's a pin in it where the explosion, where like the site went off, and there's another pin where the mayor's office is. That looks like it was put here much earlier.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up, walk over to it, and start measuring on the map and making sounds.
Yeah, his fingers start drumming as he walks.
Mayor, there haven't been any. I assume that this is the detonation location.
Yes. That was the location of the explosion.
Okay. Have there been any other unusual goings on around town?
Unusual goings on? What do you mean?
Anything that you can think of.
1 second, I need to quickly grab my dice. Hold on.
Lovely.
No, of course not. So
I start riding harder.
At this point, I'm going to turn around and look directly at him. Mr. Mayor, you were saying that there have been no unusuals going on after there was an explosion in the center of your town.
His eyes start darting back and forth. Well, nothing worth
Let me worry about what's worthy, being talked about. Mayor, we need your cooperation here.
Oh, well,
We certainly want to be out of your hair as soon as possible.
Well, yes, of course, we all want that. He's looking at the guard counter. Well, it's just Dr. Franklin has been reporting some health issues. Nothing too serious, obviously. Nothing that really required this level of quarantine, obviously. But
health issues, you say? What type of health issues?
Oh, no, you know how things are. It's seasonal allergies and flu. It's just...
Was excessive sweating one of the symptoms?
No, of course not.
Shortness of breath?
Look, I'm not sure what you're getting
Anxiety.
at. Look here, I resent what you're trying to imply here, sir.
Sir, I am just simply worried about the health of those in this town. And me now as well, now that I'm in here.
What do you mean,
Are there any...
here?
Inside the town, inside the quarantine, sir. We share the risk just as you do.
Yeah, he looks at he looks over at Lawrence as you said something.
Out of character, are there any more pins that I can see? Like, are there any like a little
on the,
box of pins or something? Okay.
Pins.
I pull out one of the pins that's the same color as the one that's on the explosion, and I say, "Mr. Mayor, we need your cooperation here. We would hate for there to be another accident." And I place
accident?
like a pin on top of a school building.
His face.
Oh no!
His face drains. What do you mean another accident? There's
well,
really
you see, in cases like this, there's often follow-on consequences, chain reactions, you could say.
Chain reactions.
Yes, cascade effects.
How many things have you people built in this town?
No, Mr. Mayor. I don't mean that.
Us people? You mean your government?
Look, I'm as patriotic as anyone. He points at the flag, but there has to be limits. This is absurd.
I'm going to walk over to the flag and run my finger along it, examining it for dust.
Yeah, check. Make sure the ends aren't frayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, I'm as patriotic.
You
as
really
apple
should
pie.
maintain this flag better. I'm going to walk over to the main flag. See, now this is how you're supposed to maintain the flag of our wonderful United States of America.
Listen here, I am as patriotic as they come.
Then
I
why
see.
are you obstructing a government investigation, Mr. Mayor?
Look, I'm not obstructing anything, and that obstruction is a very serious word that you're throwing around there.
Yes, it is, Mr. Mayor. It
Look.
is.
If you want details about the incidents, talk to Dr. Franklin. He has all of that. It's irrelevant. I don't have time to deal with every crackpot theory that our doctor, who is a very fine medical man but prone to flights of fancy, it comes across. I have a lot of important business to deal with, not the least of which being this quarantine.
Mr. Mayor, that's our business. I'm going to go ahead, pick up the Geiger counter, flick it off. You need to change your smoke detector.
My smoke detector? So,
It's been a pleasure, Mr. Mayor. I shake his hand.
his hand is sweaty and shaking as you do, but he shakes it without much protest.
Expect to see us again soon.
Oh,
And then leave.
As we walk out, did you really have to threaten the school?
It was either that or the power plant.
I probably would have gone with that. Deluge upon the town, washing it clean.
Sorry, heat of the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I hope the others have better luck. Though at least we've got a lead.
and with that we star wipe over to like, ugly ass star wipe over to the woods where the cab drops off our two lovely ladies, our two lovely handicapped ladies.
All right, so I have an idea.
Yes.
So I'm going to act like a child and pretend to ask questions for a school project. If he asks anything, you're my guardian. This is how we get in. Don't worry, I'm a deputy marshal. I know these things. I've been trained highly.
Yes, I've read your file.
When
Don't pull
I
out
give
the
the
Derringer this
signal,
time.
lock all the entrances. Anyway, so they walk up. She takes a quick drink of her flask before putting it away out of sight, and then knocks on the door.
After a few knocks, you hear a rattling and rustling, and a voice from inside of this like little. It's not a cabin, but it's like a very small house, like a one-story house. And you hear a voice from the inside call out, "Who is it?"
Hiya, sir.
What? Like there's a like a little clattering sound and there's a little window on top of the thing, and the person inside, like apparently standing on their tiptoes, like looks out of the high window to see you.
Hello, sir.
My name is Meryl, and I'm from the school, and we're trying to get. I'm doing a little project for my class about psionic abilities.
Psionic abilities? What?
Yeah, don't you know the recent curriculum?
What?
Can I come in and interview you?
Sure. Hold on.
We'll just be a few questions.
Yeah, he slides he stands it down and slides the bolt on the door, and opens it. As he does so,
This is my mom.
Oh, hello.
Hello, sir.
James. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, James. Go ahead, sweetie. Ask the nice man your questions.
All right, let's go sit down. And she runs past him and goes down onto whatever couch in the living space.
I apologize. She gets a little ahead of herself.
That's okay, I suppose. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Zimma.
Zimma. And your daughter?
That's my little Meryl.
Do you need anything? Or yeah,
She's pretending to be really fucking excited by like.
yeah. He's noticed
Like-
your missing foot and is looking kind of uncomfortable and like, oh geez, oh dear. Okay, well I better be on my best behavior with this kid.
If he denies her access to the house, you know how much of an asshole he looks like.
Yeah. So he kind of leads who he assumes is Mother Zima to the couch and sits down across from you. You actually, as you walk in, you notice that propped on the door side is a double-barrel shotgun, which he apparently had set aside when he realized you were a kid.
Yeah. So she pulls out a notebook, a spiral notebook, and a pencil with a like a sparkly pencil topper.
Of course. Yeah, and it's like sunflowers all over like the notebook.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, sir, I want to know first, do you have any psychic abilities?
I don't know.
Really? You sure?
He shakes his head. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Really, I don't think a lot of people
In
do.
school, we learned those people are called voids.
Voids. It's the first time I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Quite the imagination
you-
she has, but the
Yeah.
teacher indulges her.
That's cute. He looks from you to Meryl. It's like you can you can't see it, but Meryl, you can see on his face like he's getting increasingly awkward by the fact that it's like, oh, how do I interact like politely with a woman who can't see anything and a little girl without a foot? It's like well.
What do you know about psychic abilities?
I gotta admit, I don't know too much about them.
Come on, my grade is banging on this.
Okay, in Star Trek, there's that one lady with the hair.
No, I mean real.
I guess those people with the cards, you tell what the little like lines or the circles and shapes are and stuff. Like I guess that's ESPN, right?
I believe
she
that's
starts
the
writing
sports
this
channel.
stupid shit down.
Oh, sorry, I don't have television. I don't really have the money for it.
Who does?
Yeah,
For the time, really.
Yeah, I used to watch TV with my sister back when. Anyway, no, but okay. What other questions do you have about psychic abilities? Meryl?
Do you know anyone who could have them?
I don't think so. I mean, my sister always kind of seemed to have a sixth sense about things, but I don't know if she was actually psychic. Yeah, Mom always said that she had just a supernatural ability to get herself into trouble. So, as you'd say, that's.
Do you get any visitors around here?
He looks
Besides that?
back at the door where the shotgun is still leaned against it and says, not a lot.
Oh, that's sad.
Well,
My dad used to always say that it's always good to have friends, no matter how small they are.
he like looks mildly uncomfortable, but gives you a smile. It's like, oh, that's really nice. Your dad sounds like a nice guy, real smart fella.
Right. I have one last question.
Okay.
What's his sister's name?
Catherine McCready.
What do you know about
Catherine McCready. And then she pulls out the gun and aims it at him.
he freezes. It's like, what?
You lock the doors. Does she actually go to lock the doors?
I mean, I will.
Oh.
Yes, awkwardly stand up and stumble towards the door, counting my steps back.
What's going on? Meryl?
Well, that's Deputy Marshal Meryl to you.
Am I under arrest? Is this...
No, you're not necessarily under arrest.
I have a license for that gun.
Provide.
I have a license for the gun. It's a hunting
Oh,
license.
no. It's not the gun. We'd like to know about the current, your sister.
She's... He looks suddenly, like, really distraught. He's like... You people... Like, she used to work for you people. She used to work for the government. Like, why are you asking me?
You see, the problem is that she's gone missing.
Missing? He looks even more distraught. Like, what do you mean missing? You said she died last year.
Well, that's not quite the truth. But really, what are truths, really?
My sister's alive? What are you talking about? What the...
Well,
like,
could you provide any information on the whereabouts of a recently escaped convict?
Yeah, actually, roll me a notice, or perception plus notice, or perception doubled. Apparently, that's the thing. Apparently, whatever is better.
Well, perception doubled is if you do a notice, but you don't have the notice skill.
Okay, so yeah, perception plus notice then.
Good thing I don't have notice.
Oh boy, wow, that's a terrible.
But that's a 9 in total.
Yeah. So, so he
Are
tries
10s
to...
exploding?
10s are exploding, as are 1s. So he tries to hide this, but you actually notice that, like, while he looks genuinely distraught, it's not actually it's not like the distraught look of someone who is like being startled by, you know, new information. More like a kind of guilty start. And he really, like, you can kind of tell from his body language, like he's nervous. Like he's not like shocked and like out of out of grief or anything. Like he's shocked and nervous because you're touching close to something that he doesn't want to talk about.
Answers on the game's question, but
are we using perception for ranged weapons? No, you'll be able to use dexterity for that. Daredevil, but you are.
It wouldn't even matter. I have the same for both. So you care.
Actually, well, you can use perception to aim. You can use perception to aim, and you can use dexterity to shoot.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you use perception to aim, it could give you a bonus on it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So I am aware of your that you're withholding information.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I haven't seen my sister since you people, you know, told me that she died back when that terrorist attack happened up on the highway and up, a couple of miles away from here.
What we need is any information, and since I know he's going to be keeping an eye on the gun, I'm going to be slowly swaying it back and forth.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, what do you know anything about the project she was involved in prior to this?
No, she was tight-lipped. She wouldn't tell me anything about it. Just said it was something important.
Is there any place that she would disappear off to? And around what time of the day? Or night?
When she was a kid, she used to, we actually lived just around here. We had a tree fort out in the woods, but again, she's
writing this down with her sparkly ass pencil.
Of course.
Spiral note.
So, like, I swear though, I have not seen my sister since all this since the attack, since whatever the hell happened on that highway, last year, earlier this year.
I imagine Moonstruck's character gets back to the couch after locking all the doors and doing whatever.
Amazing.
Your house is very cluttered.
Very multi-talented. Very ambitious. He doesn't act, like he looks to you, and then back to Meryl and says, "Is she even blind? Like, how much of what you people are, like, who are you people?"
That's classified information.
I do recommend that you don't tell anyone that that we came and talked to you.
Zombie Cam, I'm talking about the pistol that I have with 2 bullets in them.
Yeah, it's like a little Derringer gun.
Yeah. One that's easily concealable. I don't think I could carry a rifle into this place.
Yeah. He nods slightly and says, "I sort of assuming that you people aren't just going to kill me."
Well, not if we have to.
There are better ways to make you disappear.
Look, what do you people want to know about my sister for? I swear to God, I haven't seen her since all this, all that happened.
Did she leave any files for you?
No, nothing. Like,
what was her? Where did you know anything about the place that she worked at? What general area? Anything?
No, just that she was here in Maine and that she was involved in some sort of government thing, and then again she went missing during when that whole attack happened. I assumed, given the fact that I was given a death certificate from people who said that they were her employers, that she must have died in that attack.
Well,
But you can tell he's still withholding something.
Has he been watching my gun barrel?
Oh yeah, he's been pretty fixated on that. Except when
I'd like to. Is he calming down? Is the real question.
Sort of, like, he's definitely still nervous. Like, he's definitely still like, hey, there's a gun pointed at me. I'm not going to get comfortable about that.
I would like to make a questioning roll.
Okay.
Because I'm good at that.
Roll me questions.
There it is. We're looking at 16.
Okay, that totally works for me, zombie. But yeah, okay, 16.
Totally, Lawrence.
Yes, so that'll probably work. But let me. What do you ask, and how are you going to ask it? Yumi, I love to make sure this makes sense in character and is like your roleplay thing. So, like, that's a good roll. You're probably gonna succeed unless it's a really stupid or really vague question. But
no, it's fair.
Lay it on me.
To be clear, Mr.
McCready.
Mr. McCready.
Yes.
If we find out that you have withheld any information on your sister from us, anything at all, so inconsequential that, well, it might have slipped your mind, it will not be pleasant for you.
Look.
So I do implore you to tell the truth.
Look. I haven't seen my sister, but the other day, someone came by the house who looked like her, but it wasn't her. It wasn't my Catherine. It wasn't my cat. She's different. She looks like her, but she talks like her even, but I can tell it's not her.
Could you describe what the differences?
Well, for one thing, she had scars, which, I mean, maybe that might, come from the attack, but these weren't normal scars. These were burns and scrapes, metal pieces inserted into parts of her body, like something had exploded and shrapnel was still stuck in her, but it wasn't. It was like some old B-movie science fiction thing. Her leg was made of metal, for God's sake, but was walking around like a normal human being. Oh God, yeah. And the way she talked, her accent, her voice, it was like she spoke it's like she came from a different part of the world, but like it was still English, it was still American English, but it was off. Like it wasn't the same voice. It wasn't the same. It wouldn't have like seemed so off if it was someone else, but for me, I could tell. And
did she say that she was going anywhere?
No, she asked for food and for water and asked me a lot of questions. She had a gun like nothing I've ever seen before, but she didn't threaten me. She had it. There was a threat there, I guess, but she didn't want to hurt me. I could tell. I think that I don't know. It was like she recognized me, but even though I know it wasn't the same person.
Something was off.
Something was very off.
Apart from the shrapnel metal leg.
Yeah, I mean, even apart from all of that, but I told her what I could. I told her about everything. She was asking the strangest questions about our government, about our history, about like leaving the planet.
Aliens.
What?
Nothing.
Well, at any rate, she seemed upset that NASA was didn't have a base set up right here out here in northern Maine. And when I explained that that I didn't think there was any moon moon expedition, she seemed just completely out of it. Like, I don't know, like this was too much to bear, and she just ended up taking some food and water and left. I haven't seen her since, but I feel like she's watching. I feel like she hasn't gone that far, and ever since the quarantine came up almost immediately afterwards, I don't know.
Do you feel your safety is at risk?
He looks at the gun and he looks at the gun in your hand and then over to the gun by the door and shakes his head. No, I don't. I mean, obviously not right now, but something happened the other day after she came to visit.
Mm-hmm.
I was out in the woods and I saw a hunter. They see a lot
Can
of
you describe this hunter?
Oh, just a guy, orange jacket, scruffy, had a hunting rifle. The sort of people you always see around these parts, but he brought down a deer, and I was thinking that was kind of odd because I thought deer season had ended. And the thing was, he was bending over the deer he'd shot and just seemed totally absorbed in something to do with it. I didn't know whether or not to, try talking to him. I've never been exactly the most social person in the world, and he seemed pretty intent, but something about him made me curious, so I tried getting closer. The thing was, and I can't say for certain if I just imagined it or not, but when I got closer, I thought it sounded like he was eating the deer raw. That scared the hell out of me, and I ran. And when I ran, he grunted and shouted something I couldn't quite make out. And it sounded like he was following me for a little bit, but by the time I got back home and slammed the door and bolted it, he didn't exactly come knocking or anything, but like I said, it scared the hell out of me, and I haven't really been leaving the house since.
Fair.
Well, I start putting the I finish up writing all the shit down. Well, may I have a suggestion to you?
Sure.
What's his name again?
James McCready.
James. If you see something suspicious like that again, may I suggest you go to the nearest hotel and contact this number. Rips off a corner of the paper with a phone number on it. Call this number with a disposable phone, and then we'll talk again. Same goes for if your sister decides to stop by here.
Is she my sister? Do you know them?
Well, I'm not sure.
He seems to sink slightly, like, he like he'd been holding out hope that you were going to, give him some better news, but he just nods, says, "All right, I'll call if anything happens."
Make sure to stay safe.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Puts the gun away. Gets up.
Yeah, James doesn't make a move to get in your way or, do much more than reach forward to grab the piece of paper and tuck it into his breast pocket.
I'm sorry for the intrusion.
Yeah,
but,
well,
it's important.
I figured.
I would recommend seeking help, possibly out of town once the curfew's lifted.
He nods and then, after a moment's hesitation, calls after you before you leave and says, "Listen, what you said about staying safe, you guys should do that too. Something's weird in this town."
I'm sure we're fine. But if you feel your safety is compromised, make sure to contact us. We don't want any innocents being at risk.
He, doesn't really respond, but sees you out and locks the door behind you. Do you all meet up in the mansion? The former at the bombed out site. So yeah, you guys all actually arrive around the same time, even though obviously you guys just kind of went in turn. Like roughly the same amount of time passed, and by the time you arrive at the mansion, the van pulls up alongside you. The location has been sealed off even with tape, but is not currently being patrolled. Though, given the fact that no one wants to be around this location, it doesn't look like there's much of a need for actual armed security.
Give it a quick pass with the Geiger counter.
There is a slightly higher level of radiation than there was before, but it's nowhere near dangerous levels.
Okay.
It's like if you're on an airplane, right? But as opposed to okay.
What is the banana equivalent dose?
I actually don't know, but it's not too bad. You're not going to you're not in danger of. You probably wouldn't want to stay here on a permanent basis, but you're probably fine just investigating and spending however long you need to here.
Gotcha.
Well,
Was it?
that was in character.
Oh.
Well,
Any luck?
anyone want to lead the way? Oh yes, we got plenty of information.
Perhaps a confirmation.
Well, I can't say that we
Meryl's
were.
eyes more than mine.
I can't say that we were all that successful, though we did get a lead out of the mayor. He looks to be obstructionist.
We may need
Well.
to remove him from his current position in the office.
Maybe not
Being
just
perfect.
yet.
Being perfectly honest, I don't think it
Obstructionist
should
is-
be. It shouldn't be necessary. He doesn't have much power anyway.
True.
Just imagine this fucking Game of Thrones like politics playing with incredibly low
Oh
tier
my God.
local government.
Can I knock off one of the things that I bought and have it like replace it with like a board with like figurines representing different
I'll let you have that for free.
powers in the city, and I like the mayor has been dealt with, and then like flick it over.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you got like a little weird model town with like little figurines representing the
So
different.
he's
like,
really
power
into
players.
into miniatures, and so he made a bunch of town miniatures prior
Okay,
to.
Yeah.
what we'll say is they're chess pieces, but he has a map,
Yeah. Okay.
so he's
perfect.
laid the map out on the table in his room.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so you have like the White King on the mayor's thing. You've got like a rook at the doctor's office. You've got the queen on the police station. You have like the Black King as the like the mansion. You have the Black Queen as you guys in your new location. You have like the like a wild card pawn like somewhere off in the woods.
Oh boy. Okay, I guess we should probably investigate this area.
It's probably not a terrible idea.
See what can be seen. So, notice.
Yeah, no perception. All of you. Who
Well,
want to
that's a
try?
no. That's a perception doubled for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah,
whichever's
that's a
better.
6 in total. Oh yeah.
Okay.
10s are exploding, yes?
10s are exploding. Rolled again, add half.
Okay, so that's going to be a 21.
Nice. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a 10, then a 9.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so,
My luck holds.
yeah. So you guys are all, so I assume you guys all did pretty well on that one. And this is
Well, I mean, they all
I
did
got a
pretty well on
6.
it.
Well, yeah. of
I got a
course.
6.
Okay, well, maybe not you, but yeah, here's what you pick up, and we'll be able to tell to one another. The location looks pretty barren, but you can see even from here that there has been minimal, like looks like there's been minimal damage within the actual like primary building itself. Though from what you read about this location, the main base and the main damage came from an underground facility. The level of radiation stuff is pretty low. The front doors have been forced open. You imagine by police or something, but there have been serious burns, like basically like weapon burns, like not like fire burns, like weird burn marks on the sides of the building where areas seem to have been blasted out by some sort of energy weapon.
Okay, I'm going to take a real close look at that kind of thing. Does it look similar to anything that I previously worked on?
Sort of. Like, this stuff it's different. Like, whatever made these burns, it's similar to the weapons that you have experienced, that you've like worked on as part of Project Moon Dust, but they're much smaller, and yet for the size, they're surprisingly powerful. Like, this is a more like for what it is, it's much more like concentrated beam than you'd get with most of like the ship-based weapons that you've seen. It's not as advanced as some of the most extreme alien tech that you've been experienced to, but it's definitely like far above like even the like the normal level of technology that you've experienced when dealing with this advanced alien technology.
Okay, quick question here, just to get a little bit of background info. I know in standard Connex there's at least 3 different alien races.
Yep.
Have I had experience with 3 different lines of technology, essentially, or have I had experience with more different lines of technology?
You have essentially dealt with technology essentially related to the 3 main alien races, and that's mostly it. Like you've dealt with a little bit of Aegis tech, which is like stuff that's been kind of like reverse engineered, but primarily what you would know just as someone who's actually roll me a UFOlogy.
Okay. One of the things I'm asking here is it more similar to one line of the tech than any others?
Yeah,
but I will certainly make that roll.
Yeah, roll me ufology to kind of get a like you've got a pretty good idea of like what this stuff looks like and all the details about it. Now roll me ufology to find out like if you can figure out,
Okay.
It's really
that's with int, yes.
Yeah, with int.
Okay. Do ufology. Well, it wasn't quite as good of a roll, but I have a better base for that.
Well, that's good, at least.
It's the same. It's the same number. 21 again.
Holy shit! Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so what you've experienced so far is largely taught you that the 3 main alien races are the Atlanteans, who don't tend to use plasma guns or anything. Like they tend to rely more on like modifying their own bodies to the point where they don't really need advanced weaponry. So it's probably not that. So it's not very similar to them. The Greys, who are much more interested in using their own psionic abilities, so it doesn't really seem similar to them. And the Saurians, who like their plasma weapons. And this is most closely related to Saurian tech, but Saurian tech tends to be much more in the form of like small concentrated beams. Like they tend to use weapons that like kind of like fire one blast that will like take out a large chunk of something. And this looks like a number of small repeated impacts from a energy weapon.
Okay.
So it's most closely resembles a Saurian weapon, but it's not their style.
Did we have any pictures of her carrying the weapons
Yes.
in our briefing information?
Yes, you didn't get a good look at it, but
I've got photographic memory. If I got a look at it,
okay.
I should be able to recall it.
Yeah.
What did those look like?
It looked a little bit like a weird. Like it looked like a rifle. It looked like a standard military rifle, but bulkier, and like it looked like a hybrid of sniper rifle and DMR,
Okay.
but with like some weird bulky elements and like a coil on the front that suggested some sort of like advanced, tech was involved in its construction.
Did it look somewhat like what Aegis puts together with when we do the reverse engineering?
Closer to that than you'd get with most alien tech, but again, the design is unique. It's not like what Aegis uses, and it's not like what the Black Book uses. Like this is something new.
Oh, lovely. Another player.
What are you seeing? Everyone's been looking around, and I have no idea what they're looking at. We haven't even gone inside yet.
Oh, well, this blast damage tells me that we've likely got another player on the field. Anyway, we should keep on going, see if we can recover any artifacts that might have been left behind. Continue onwards.
Meryl's brain is literally just like aliens.
Aliens.
I'm
all
going to keep
aliens.
an eye out for computers. Stuff that I can salvage like that. Information.
I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, as you
I would probably be looking.
Bag it up.
for
We need to get this out before any civilian sees it.
fair enough.
Get what out, specifically?
Anything you found?
Well, at this point, all it is a blast in the wall.
Well, that's arguably something that can be talked away.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Hey, I actually look at it. Though maybe with some saws we could cut this out. This could be very interesting to take a look at.
might be. And
I mean, I'm actually going to start wrapping the wall and seeing, can I get this out of there in one, relatively one piece?
okay, we'll deal with that in a second. Meryl, you're going to be looking for any computers and software that you can pilfer.
Yeah, like any documents. Also, it seems Lawrence is going to be looking for any technology or computers or any information like that too.
Okay. And finally, let's see here. So yeah, so then Zima and Dr. Yang will be like taking out pieces of concrete and stuff up here while you two go down below. So we'll follow you two down below first while these two are slicing out pieces of the wall.
Well, Doctor. The doctor is.
The doctor is you
the
are
wall.
just like
The blind one is slicing out pieces of the wall.
yeah.
Oh no, sorry.
The non-blind one is slicing out pieces of the
Give
wall.
the blind one the power saw.
Yeah,
Yes.
we should do that. Good idea.
Yeah, trim some hedges or trim the wall, either way. So in that case, we follow as Meryl and Lawrence head down into the bowels of the actual base. The initial Aegis team that was sent in to basically just like look the place over, to do like the once over, resealed the like the secret doorway, but you guys know where it is, and it's relatively easy to strip away the plaster put over the exit, and you find more blast marks around the door. It looks like whoever was responsible, like this woman, basically shot her way straight out through the door. As you continue down into the bowels, you find that the battle damage is much worse down here. Like up top, it looks like the person was taking a few pot shots, trying to like escape. Down here, it looks like there was a full-blown battle, and it looks like there was more than one individual, like saboteur. The number of blast marks, the number of old blood stains.
I imagine all the
Nice.
corpses were picked up.
The corpses were picked up, but there's still blood stains. There's still like cracked concrete where people are knocked around.
Maybe later on, someone could ask to see if we can take a look at those bodies.
Probably be a good idea. You might do that when you go and talk to the doctor. There's a big fucking hole where like something big like came running through these corridors and smashed people up. Like this is a site of some serious fuckery, basically, and it all leads to two main rooms appear to have been hit the hardest. One of which was the office of the director of this cell, which was utterly smashed to pieces, and the other one is the room where the project was being worked on, and that project, scraps of it remain. Whatever it was metal. It was vaguely circular, and it required a lot of power. In fact, most of the
How big is
explosions.
it?
It was big. It basically took up an entire room, and not a small one either. It had it basically was like a large metal plateau, which is still largely intact, surrounded by pillars that surrounded it and were connected to various power supplies. Those have been completely wrecked. And did you guys bring Geiger counters with you?
Yes.
I
Okay.
personally.
I was about to say I'm running the Geiger counter. while
Okay,
we're
yeah.
walking through the room.
The background radiation in this room is a lot higher. It's still not at dangerous levels, but it's like notably higher.
I'd
Are
like
there
to
any
take a look
computers?
at the electronics.
Yes, there are
Oh.
several computers. And you, I imagine, will actually find them first. Meryl. Because it's got your deal. So yeah, Meryl, you find, and Zombie, your character will join her in a moment, but you find what appears to be like a busted up supercomputer. It's dead, but its hard drives have been left largely intact. You could probably take the information you got here and bring it back to your mainframe, and at the very least run the data through and see what was being worked on.
Yeah, let's just take that shit.
Now it's big. I mean, there's terabytes and terabytes of data here, and they're in big office.
Lawrence,
big,
can
filing
you
cabinet
lift
size.
this?
Can I lift it?
You can.
kind of-
There's a lifter that will help you, but these things are heavy. I mean, these are like filing cabinet-sized blocks of data where entire trillibytes of data are being stored. It's insane. There
We
are.
should get the others in.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll probably need the others' help. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
we're
long has it
probably
been
gonna.
since the explosion?
How long has it been since the explosion? You guys are coming in less than 1 month since the event.
Lawrence pats the top of the computers and says, "I'm surprised that you just left them unattended for so long."
The part of the reason was that you guys are essentially like the closest thing you have to first responders due to the recent events. Aegis has been slow to react to a lot of major events. Those assholes who fucked everything up back on the highway in the infamous highway attack really did a number on Aegis, and the events here have really badly screwed up the organization. At least here in the northeast.
Would I have any idea of knowing if there's security cameras in this place at any point?
Yeah, you could probably there almost certainly would have been security cameras. In fact, that's where you got some of the footage that you have of the woman.
Wait, they got footage from the security cameras from this place, but they couldn't. They
There
didn't
wasn't
take
a
the
lot of
computers?
recovered footage. They couldn't recover much
Oh, okay.
footage. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get the others. You keep finding a way to see if you can loosen those, or see if there's any other information just strewn about.
Files, papers, anything of that nature. You go up and see Dr. Yang carving out a piece of wall. What were you doing? Zima.
Zima.
Mother Zima.
Yeah, Mother Zima.
Mother Zima. Yes. Well, I figured I'd use some clairvoyance and figure out what happened here.
How close are you to me?
I'm assuming she's doing she does this before you come back up to check on them.
Yes.
All right.
So we'll do that first. So roll me your clairvoyance thing. What are you gonna try and do with your clairvoyance?
Well, it's kind of up to you, but I think I was going to go for vision of what happened, not the.
Okay. What's your level at? What can you see?
3 on strength and art.
Okay. So what is that in the book? Just I'll look it up.
Yeah, one sec. So view range is 10 yards. 10 yards per level of perception and clairvoyant strength. So for me, that's.
So it'd be
5.
yeah.
So it's 50 meters.
And you said you want to look into the past?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. What does it specifically say about what you can see in the past at your current level?
A few seconds, one turn are seen.
Okay, fair enough. That's
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Make me that roll. You,
Okay.
use your mental powers to gaze into the iris.
Gaze into.
Oh, okay. That's the one Overwatch pun I'm gonna allow.
Okay. I'm happy.
Fair enough. No, so that's 19.
Okay, 19. So yeah, you, with the 19, you will actually get a relatively clear view on this, on what happened. You don't get much, but basically as you, put your hand over the, one of the blast holes, you suddenly see, from, a couple of weeks ago, a woman, a very confused, very panicked-looking woman, running through the building, firing at the door before barging through it. Her aim is unsteady, and she hits several pieces of the wall before finally hitting the door. And you can kind of get from her, you get an empathetic feeling from her. That she kind of realized that the door was probably not even locked. By that point, she was just looking to, she just didn't want to deal with anything else. She was just blowing straight through everything because she was just, she was panicked. And as she barges through the door and out into the field, you can see very clearly, the same woman that you saw in a blurry image through the pictures. She's brown hair, weird cybernetics and prosthetics, with a gun that fires off bolts of bright red energy. And then as the vision starts to fade, you feel cold, very, very cold, and something starts pressing on your mind as someone starts coming up the staircase.
Oh God, yeah, this is gonna be fun. How close are you to me when I'm up the staircase?
She's basically at the edge of your range right now.
Oh, boy. So she's basically 18 feet away.
Yeah, well,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
essentially, at this point, she's 20 feet from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meryl's gonna stop and shout, "Hey, we found some hard drives down there. If you can help with moving them into the van, that'd be great. Once you're done with that."
Shaking my head, kind of startled. Of course. When I can.
The presence of Meryl causes this tremendous headache to start cracking at the edge of your visions, and as it fades, it goes away, but it's a very unpleasant feeling.
Indeed.
Have I gotten the blast hole out of the wall yet?
Yeah, you've completed your little project.
All right, let's go get those hard drives.
Downstairs, you see poor Lawrence, struggling to pull one of the heavy hard drives onto a little wheelie carrier thing. And there's still two other ones.
My average strength ass will try and help.
Yeah, with assistance, it's not too bad, but it's these things are big and bulky. And even on the little wheelie carts, they're kind of a pain in the ass to move around.
Upper management never sends enough help.
I'm gonna look at Lawrence and go, okay, now I'm missing the op agent.
Lawrence being zombie, your character.
Yes, he could have helped out very much. Yeah. Was He's going on about that training he received.
Yeah. 2 scoops of muscle hold the brains.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not fair of me. 3 scoops.
Oh, fucking burn. Yeah, with the hard drives and your laser burn marks, you actually have most of what you probably are going to get out of like the hard drives and stuff. You can still look around to see if you can find anything else of any interest.
Yeah. Did Aegis leave any technology behind, even shattered technology?
What do you like? Yes, actually, Meryl. Do you want to let him know about that?
It was basically like an entire giant, like,
Machine.
spherical thing, right? Yeah, machine. This entire machine here that's now in crumbles was something we were working on.
I'm going to take a look at it.
Careful, it might be irradiated a bit more than the rest of this room.
I'm going to take a look at the Geiger counter.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's breakfast.
If I do it enough, I'll get another brain.
Maybe I'll go
I've been
see.
trying. I've really been trying, but all I've gotten is the 3rd lobe.
It's going to be a long assignment.
Very likely. The scene that you find when you are escorted into that room is the same as what I described previously. Damaged machinery, a plateau left scorched but largely intact, and a power supply that has been completely shot to shit.
Okay, any relation to anything I've worked on before?
Kinda. Let's see here. This machinery, unlike the weapon that the one was using, is pretty strictly a Aegis thing. Like, it's reverse engineered from a mix of Saurian and Grey technology, and has several design components very similar to what you'd find in advanced Aegis technology.
Okay. Just guessing as a player here, power generator?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to try and get a little bit more out of it, just because that's the character for you, by looking around at it and, trying to define exact purposes, what lines of technology are with it, what breakthroughs there might have been in this project.
Roll me a little roll skis. Roll me a little techno roll.
Alien
skis.
engineering?
Yeah, that's the one. Throw that fucking bone. Throw them bones.
Wouldn't that be an intelligence plus?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Rad.
Yeah.
Okie doke. I'm sorry to say that it came out lower than before.
Oh no, not Jesus Christ. You fucking dice.
Hit you, God.
Okay, so yeah. Looking at this is actually interesting. You haven't really seen this being used before. I mean, like the Saurians, the Atlanteans, the Greys, Project Blue Book, like they all have been about creating ships, creating methods of like traveling amongst the stars, or at the very least weapons and armor to fight things that come from outside of the stars. This, if you didn't know any better, you'd say this was a portal.
No way.
What do you mean?
And they didn't bring me in on it?
She like pokes him in the back of the head. What is it?
I'm not certain, but I think this might be an Einstein-Rosenbridge generator.
Dun dun dun.
Would I feasibly know what that is?
Oh, please tell
How
me you
much of a-
Yanks haven't been messing with that.
Yeah, here's the thing. How much of a nerd are you?
Not very.
Then probably not. You can ask for an explanation from the super nerd, though.
Speak English.
I was.
Real English.
Layman's terms
oh.
for them.
Oh, right. Barney style. Okay. So. Simplest way of putting it, it folds space so that one area is close to another.
Ah, so it uses string theory.
Sometimes. The math is complex.
Here's
I pick
the...
up a piece of paper,
Oh,
stick a
God.
pen through it.
Unfortunately,
Look,
like, as
the
you pose
upshot
it-
is it's a portal from here to there.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the weird thing, though. Like, they kind of start getting, like, you kind of get from, like, the way this thing's. You don't know. We'll get that from what Bleal is able to pull from the machine, maybe. Yeah, from what you can tell, it's definitely some sort of portal. There's something weird about it, but maybe your friend's mainframe will be able to parse that data from the bowels of this facility.
Well, this is
Does it look like
piece
it's
of
been
photo. We
activated?
can't just.
The other thing that's interesting about this is this is specifically an Aegis job. And it's really out of the line of most of the research that I'm aware that Aegis does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this like, you guys aren't usually let in on, that much on what Aegis is doing or anything, but like, this seems deeply out of their wheelhouse. Like, this looks like the cell that was working on it might have been kind of working under their own auspices and they might have gone rogue, maybe.
Well,
If we're going to need to get radiation suits, I'm going to want to come back to this.
yeah, we're gonna have to make sure to pick all of these out.
Duhad, I assume that this is too large for us to move out easily.
Yeah, the pieces are definitely, like, it's too much. You'll have to come back here to do it. You can gather some pieces and you can bring all the data with you. The data will probably be able to give you an idea as to what these fuckers were at least trying to do, if not
Does the portal
necessarily
look
what
like
they
it's
ended
ever
up
been
accomplishing. What was that, something?
Does the portal look like it has ever been activated?
Yes.
Multiple times?
As far as you can tell, only the once, but you don't really, that's about as far as you can tell. Just that it's been used. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, like, if it's been used a lot or just the once, but it definitely looks like it's been used. Like, part of the radiation is that came off this thing looks like it might not have come from the explosion, but rather from whatever this thing opened up to.
Okay.
Mm.
Very interesting.
Well,
Yang, for the record, is looking like the cat that caught the canary.
I imagine.
mm.
Do you leave it for now and take the data back to your HQ?
Yes.
As much as Yang wants to stay here, he acquiesces.
Fair enough.
Because, well, data. Gotta get into that data.
You gotta search these data stores. And that's going to be the job of your vertically challenged friend Meryl.
Yep. Boom. And hormonally challenged
Yeah.
due to the fact that she's still a fucking child. But yeah, great. Yeah.
So
Do we go straight back to the base, or do we go?
We could go see the doctor first.
when you
I need to pick
you have
up
a
some
van,
property.
Yeah, you do
and
have a
then we
van
can
full
return
of
to base.
things, but yeah, okay. Why don't you stop and talk to the doctor and get the tea, and then you can head back and do the deal with the data. Because that is right. You still have one person left on the listery now. Actually, you have 2 people left, but you can probably save the sheriff for later.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys want to go and visit with Dr. James Franklin?
Yeah. He's in a hospital, right?
Well, hospital is a word. More accurately, he's in a clinic. Very small local clinic that also is sort of kind of like his house. But it's the closest thing that they have to a hospital, so, it's where you go. And when you arrive, you see that there's actually there's already a car parked in his driveway, like in addition to his own.
Does it smell like? Oh no, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. Do you go?
We're not in the building yet.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna go in, knock? What are you gonna do?
Why would we knock?
I don't know. I want to know what your plan is. I want to see what you guys do.
Completely OOC, and not what we're doing, but kick the door in and run in guns blazing.
Put on your clown
I'll
mask
lead
and
with running in first.
Oh,
with,
I mean,
two
actually,
machine guns, right?
And actually, when it comes right down to it, yeah, go ahead and walk up and knock on the door.
Okay.
Is it like a walk-in place, or is it a...
Yeah, it's a walk-in clinic.
No, in which case, yeah, walk in and speak to the person at the front desk.
Yep. The front desk is, there's a very small waiting room.
Does it smell like sterile?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not the front desk. The front desk just looks like a relatively clean waiting room, but you imagine it'll smell sterile once you get inside the doctor's office.
All right.
And the lady at the front desk, as you walk in, says, "What can I do to help you?" Doctor's in with a patient at the moment.
Well, we do need to speak with the doctor as soon as possible, but we're happy to wait.
All right, well, feel free to have a seat. He's almost done.
Excuse me, where do you store the dead bodies of people that have passed?
Well, we don't store them here. We actually have them sent to into a hospital downstate. But because of the quarantine, we've been having them stored at the She looks slightly embarrassed. Well, at the butcher's shop. Not that we're obviously doing anything untoward with them, but it's unfortunately the only place we can store them where it's cold and they're unlikely to rot.
What is the name of this butcher?
No, it's down on 5th Street, on Granite Street. It's Phil Hart and Sons.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And no one else has any questions for the lady?
Nope.
Okay. So after a little while...
Who is the doctor seeing at the moment?
Local. I'm afraid I can't actually, tell you their name, doctor-patient confidentiality and all that.
Of course. But they don't happen to be in because of the quarantine. It's not related to that, is it?
I'm sure it isn't, but as I said, doctor-patient confidentiality means that I can't actually, tell you anything more about them.
Hey, they're actually HIPAA compliant.
Medical opinion. Is there anything to actually be concerned about in relation to the quarantine in the...
I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Dr. Franklin he's very passionate, and he's very concerned about the safety of the town, but I think that really there's nothing to worry about.
I've heard. I'm sure the town is in excellent hands.
Indeed. Well, there's apparently a couple of government agents who will be coming down to sort out this mess soon, so I'm sure once they've come down and cleaned everything up, everything will go back to normal in no time at all.
At that, I'm actually going to flip open an ID and wave it a little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, yes, well, I'm sure now that you're here, everything is about to be sorted. She looks much less certain.
Have you noticed anything unusual lately?
Me? No, not really, but, well, you know, we definitely had a few more patients, but I feel like it's most likely people are just a little concerned about, you know, what's been going on, and it is flu season, so you can't really expect everyone to stay healthy. Just a coincidence.
Any local legends?
Local legends? Well, not exactly.
Pass the time.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it's nothing too exciting. We don't have any Bigfoots or Draculas or anything like that. But, well, there is something kind of strange. Apparently, ever since that horrible explosion up on the hill, a strange woman's been seen around town. Very odd. Has a peg leg or something, and according to some of the more eccentric members of towns, well, they say that she's carrying around a ray gun.
Like something from Buck Rogers.
I guess so.
Madam, tell me all you know about the aliens.
Dear, I don't think there are actually any aliens. It's just.
Has there ever been any rumors of sightings of carnivorous creatures taking the form of people on the edge of the forest?
You mean like werewolves?
Kind of like that.
Oh, no, she looks over at like the rest of you like this look of like is she with you? Is she with the government?
Shrug. Pinch the bridge of my nose.
She's like, oh, okay. Well, no, we haven't had any werewolf sightings, or I said no Sasquatches or Loch Ness monsters.
No chupacabras?
I'm pretty sure that's Mexico, and no.
Wendigos?
Jersey Devil.
Well, that's in Jersey, and as to Wendigos, I don't think so. What are Wendigos?
Another name for Bigfoot.
Oh, well, no, I don't think so, at any rate. There is a, hold on, I actually have to look this up real fast. There is...
What about...
Okay, yeah, that's, okay. There is a Penobscot Reserve up on, a couple of, about a half hour's drive up the road, and I hear they have a number of strange theories about things around these parts, but, well, you know how they can be.
So what is the name of this place again?
This town, or?
The place with the strange sightings.
Oh, well, it's just out in the woods, just all over the place. But you shouldn't pay any mind to drunks and, well, some people have been a little stressed, and that can lead to seeing funny things.
I'll take my chances.
Indeed. The door opens, and a large, chubby gentleman steps out, thanking the doctor, and then shuffling out outside. You don't really get too good of a look at him, but as he shuffles past you, you see that he looks sweaty and pale and is shivering, not unlike the mayor, though, where the mayor was obviously just stressed out by your interrogation. This guy just looks sick.
Hey, sir.
Huh?
Do you know when you got sick first?
None of your business.
Sure about that.
Yeah, it's none of your business. I gotta go. I'm just here to see the doctor.
All right. May I ask your name first?
What? No. Piss off. I'm busy.
Show my deputy marshal badge.
You some sort of pipsqueak fed?
Something like that. I'd just like to know your name.
He looks over at the receptionist and then grumbles. Frank, what was it to you?
Is that your first or last name, Frank?
Frank Esteen.
Frank Esteen?
Esteen, yeah.
All right, Frank. Free to go.
Yeah. He shovels out the door. Behind him, you see a very tall, very thin man. He actually looks you can't quite pin down. Bloody hell! Hold on.
Hello,
You can't
Doctor.
quite pin down his ethnicity at a glance, but he looks he looks Native American. Like he looks like a native Mainer.
What was his last name again?
Dr.
Esteen.
James Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Franklin, I presume.
Yes, hello. You must be
Hello.
the government agents.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Please come
You
in.
don't sound German.
He's not. Well, you don't know what his actual ethnicity or background is, but you know.
He's a crazy doctor.
Every doctor is
Every crazy
German.
doctor is a crazy. Yes,
Yes,
hello,
that's right,
welcome to my home. Let me show you into my laboratory. No, he's like, no, welcome in. Please
Ooh,
come in.
yes, please.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? I'm
We want to get some
James
drinks and party up. Oh, wood. God.
You like electronic music? It's pretty fun. We're gonna have a big old party.
I'm not terrible.
Yeah, no, so he's like, please come in. I've been expecting you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, thank you very much.
As you this time when you walk into his office, you do smell the strong smell of cleaning.
Well, that means I have to make a fear test for a
Okay.
flashback.
Yeah.
What's the fear test? It's supposed to be-
Willpower doubled, plus any levels of. Yeah, plus.
Plus any levels of.
If you have nerves of steel, you get like a +5, I think.
I do not have nerves of steel. So, yeah, I get a -2 on that for that. So,
Oh, -2 total.
no, -2
Oh.
from the.
Oh,
Because of the
from the roll.
flashback.
Okay.
So that's a total of 14.
Okay, you're fine. Well, you're shaking.
Yeah.
You're a little nervous, but like you're fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily. I don't think he notices your obvious nervousness, but he does like lead you all over to basically like to his like a back room where you actually see it's like his actual office, and he doesn't really have enough chairs for all of you, but he offers chairs to both Meryl and to Zima.
Thank you, Doctor.
I understand. Thank you.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, I don't have many chairs, but
Quite
this is
all right.
a small office.
I imagine I'm going to be spending entirely too much of the day sitting down.
Yeah,
Lawrence similarly just waves it off.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your understanding. Now, I'm sure you're here about the recent explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I imagine you may have already heard about some of the other issues the town has been facing recently?
Some. I understand that you've noticed something. The mayor wasn't particularly forthcoming.
The mayor's a spineless coward who doesn't understand the importance of what's going on here.
That sounds like it matches my estimation of him, yes.
The man's more interested in in making sure the town remains nice and content for the election season than in making sure that everyone's safety is taken to primary concern. We've had a outbreak of the flu since the explosion took place, and I for one don't believe it's unrelated.
The flu.
Well, that's the closest thing I can tell from my initial examination. But it doesn't show symptoms exactly like the common flu. Victims are sick and they suffer from nausea, sweats, dizziness, vomiting, but it never progresses to the stage of being as debilitating as the flu can tend to be. I see those who have contracted it still up and about, coming to visit me every couple of days. However, there has been something else, and he pulls open a filing cabinet and removes a couple of manila envelopes and starts leafing through them. Every one of the patients I've had in here, especially the ones who I've brought in, who have come in multiple times, have shown increasing levels of irrational behavior. Nothing too severe, but they seem disoriented, confused. They become easily aggravated and need to be handled with a deft touch, or else they become, well, not violent, but very angry. People around this part of the world tend to be a little on the aggressive side as is, but it is been significantly worse ever since this infection has been spreading.
I jerked my thumb at the door. Was that a typical case?
Yes. Though Frank has never exactly been the most social individual. But even so, the degree of hostility he's been showing since his last visit has been a lot, even for him.
Mm.
He looks at you both. He looks at you and then the others. I understand that whatever happened over at the facility at at that mansion clearly relates to some important government project. I'm sure that you cannot divulge any information to me any less than I could divulge the personal medical details of my patients to you without further authorization. However, may I ask you a question about it?
You may, of course, ask.
Thank you. Were there any biological agents being housed there? Any bacterias or chemicals?
None that I know of.
I see. He looks at you searchingly and then the others and seems to decide that you're not lying and rubs his chin. And then I had something of a loss as to why all of this has been happening, but mark my words, something is very wrong here. Something is very off.
Have you had any mysterious? Have you had any patients who have just stopped coming in?
A few, not many, thankfully, and of those, I've still seen most of them around town. It's not exactly very
any
important.
that are hunters.
He looks at you, surprised, and says, "Actually, yes. Marcus St. James. He's a hunter. He went missing just last week. I haven't seen. He was supposed to come in for a checkup on, this Wednesday, not 2 days ago, and hasn't.
Do you have on document his place of residence?
Yes, I assume this is for official business.
Yes.
I see. Right. Well, as it's saying, you'd be able to find the phone book anyway. I suppose there's no harm, and he writes down an address, giving you that.
Did he have any kin that you know about?
Just an elderly father who he takes care of at his house.
Another question. What were his symptoms prior to?
Same as most of the others.
Disappear.
Fever, confusion, nausea, sweating. There wasn't anything particularly out of the usual, and he wasn't any worse than any of the other patients. In fact, I've treated
Did he have it for longer?
No, and that's the thing. If it was the case that if there was a significant variation with him, I would probably have, looked into it further, or at the very least, made more of a note of it. But however, there was nothing to suggest that he was in any greater danger of, worsening than any other patient I've seen.
Is there any difference in blood type?
Not. He looks through his notes. I don't believe there was anything specifically different about his blood. No. As far as I can tell, it was. There was nothing specifically different about him from the other ones. His proclivity for hunting is about the only thing that really stands out, and that tends not to have much of an impact on.
So he'd be where the place of woods that James
McCready.
Yeah, James McCready. I love how these both have James as first name, but
there's multiple people with the first name James.
Yeah, but where James McCready, the woods there, she basically brings up that patch of woods. Do you know if that's a popular hunting site?
I don't think it's a particularly popular hunting spot.
Do you know if he went over there to hunt?
He's like, well, actually, it's interesting you bring that up. I don't know for certain, but Mac, James McCready, as you know him, he was also supposed to come in, for an appointment, actually just today. He never made it in. And no one's seen him for quite a bit. I'm actually rather worried. Mac's a good friend of mine.
As far as you're aware, as far as we're aware, he is currently healthy and unharmed.
I'm happy to hear that, though. Unharmed? What do you mean by that?
Well, when someone goes missing for a while, people come to the conclusion that they may have disappeared due to. Yeah.
I apologize. I worry. He's, as I said, a good friend of mine, and ever since his poor sister passed away, he's been out of sorts.
Another question: have any of these patients brought up the appearance of this local folk tale of this woman carrying a ray gun and
you shouldn't listen to such
leg.
rumors. They're ridiculous. Yes, I have heard them though.
It's just questions about the delusions being connected in some way.
He sighs and kind of frowns. Well, it's definitely been coming up here and there. I wish that this rumor wasn't so damn persistent. the people who've heard of it, you know, a lot of people who believe in it, who claim to have seen this mysterious woman, say that she looked a lot like poor Mac's dead sister, and the guy's had enough problems already with her death, and this just reopened old wounds, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a shame, really. Anyone else want to ask some questions?
Is there any other unusual things that have been going about?
Aside from the illness, the explosion, and the strange rumors, no. I think everything else has been fairly normal.
Were there any people
Normal
caught in the
now.
explosion?
Unfortunately, yes. We assumed that they were government workers, but there were definitely a few casualties. They were held here briefly at the butcher shop, where we unfortunately have been forced to hold on to our dead until the ambulance can pick them up. And I was brought in to examine the bodies. Nasty injuries. Yes, there must have,
What can you tell us about those injuries?
well, the official report is that they died in an explosion, but well, from what it looked like it looks like they'd been burned quite badly. And not just that, some of them had been crushed, some of them had been shot, some of them had been battered around. If I didn't, well, I don't know any better, and I probably shouldn't try digging too deeply, but it looked like they had died in some sort of firefight.
Was there... Forgive me, I'm not certain if you did anything of the sort, but did you check for any gunshot residue on their hands?
Yes, and there was. He kind of looks past you at the door and lowers his voice slightly. I don't want any trouble, but if I were you and I were, and I wasn't necessarily in the know as to how these individuals died, who were, like, these government employees died, I would be asking the chief of police. They had the Elizabeth. Yes, Elizabeth was the first on the scene, and she could probably tell you more. We were all instructed to keep to the official story that it was all a straightforward, like lab accident or something of the sort, but
How many people actually entered the facility?
Elizabeth herself, along with two deputies, Michael Richardson and Carly Finch.
Let's see. Michael Richardson and Carly Finch. Are those two people who are not on our list of
They are
people
not
to
on
talk
the
to?
list. Yep.
Okay. Could you please give me contact information for each?
All right. Yes. Here. He writes that down.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else?
I kind of want to cross off the thing. I would like a list of names of all of the patients that exude the same
That I'm afraid I'm
symptoms
going,
than Eston.
He's
I was under the assumption. I'll have to see if I can make a call and.
all right. He basically kind of like puts the folders back together and like straightens them on his desk. You have to understand, I have no problem with assisting you in this investigation. I want to get to the bottom of this as much as anyone, but it's important.
Professional
to follow
ethics.
procedure. Yes. Once you have the
Yes,
the proper authority, I will happily hand over all the information that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Out of character. Anything else from anyone?
Out of character. I'm actually getting really tired, guys.
Okay, no worries. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
Well,
wrap
It is
it.
9:51.
In which case,
so-
well, thank you very much, Deb. After you've been quite helpful. I trust you won't mind if we come by in the future if we have any more questions.
Please do. I'm happy to entertain visitors and very happy to have a chance to dig a little deeper into all of this. He stands up and shakes your hands.
Thank you, Doctor.
And we'll wrap it there as you guys head back to base to start sifting through the information with the mainframe. When we join back with our heroes, well, our government agents at any rate, next time, hopefully we'll be with 2 additional people, a few additional rooms, and digging a little deeper into the truth. Until then,
dig a little deeper.
Till then, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy Con X2. Fuck. I hope you enjoy Con X2. You guys have been asking for long enough, and hopefully it's just as entertaining for you guys to watch as it is for me to run and for hopefully them to play. Till then, till next time. Bye.